All right, and we are officially live. So, welcome everyone to FireSide Chat, which is the first show on our new Twitch developer channel from Amazon App Store. I am very excited to be here with you, and I'll introduce myself. My name is Mario, and I am the lead at the developer relations team within the apps and games team in Amazon. And my role is to engage with the broader apps and games developers globally and to make sure that you guys are fully up to speed on new Amazon technologies and you know what we've been cooking for. And I am very excited to be here with my colleague Anisha Maldi. So, Anisha, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys. So I'm Anisha. I work on Mario's team as a developer evangelist. My focus is to advocate for all the apps and games on Fire TV and for Fire OS.
Wonderful. And again, today is our first live stream, so we're very excited to be here. Please use the chat to engage, either if you're using, if you're following us on Twitch or if you are following us on YouTube. Again, we will be live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. PST. So this time, you will find me and Anisha ready to share with you the latest and greatest on all things Amazon. So before we jump in, a little bit of housekeeping. So again, use the chat. We want to hear from you. We'll try to keep this as engaging as possible, trying to answer your questions. So as we go through the topics that we're talking today, please ask your questions and we'll try to do our best to answer them as soon as we can. And then also, please be respectful, use respectful language. We're all here to learn or to share with the community. So, again, let's be good with each other, please. And again, please follow, subscribe on YouTube, on Twitch to get notified when we go live. And set up your reminders again for every Tuesday at 6 p.m. That was a little bit of an intro, but what are we actually going to talk about today? So, we are going today to talk a little bit about what was new in 2021, a little bit of a recap of all the developer facing announcements that has happened over the last few months. There was a lot going on, so we have a pretty packed agenda for today. And Anisha and I will try to walk you through, guys, about some of the cool new devices and features that we've been launching. And we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear, your if you have any question, if you want to learn more, we're very eager to listen to you guys from the community. So again, if you have any question, please post it in the chat. We'll keep an eye on the chat and try to answer your question as soon as we can. So without further ado, Anisha, I would say let's jump on it. So let's talk
Definitely.
about the first topic of the day, which is actually one of the first announcements that has happened last year. And it's pretty important for Android developers in particular, I would say, because we announced a new line of Fire tablets in 2021. Which is focused on productivity. This is kind of a new approach for Amazon devices, as we before Amazon devices, in particular Fire tablets, were very entertainment focused devices, that were great for engagement with like games and media and content and entertainment apps, and there's still a great use case for that. But of course, over 2020 in particular, I would say during the pandemic, productivity became an even more relevant topic because users started to using their devices in a lot of different ways. So if you have a tablet, you might actually might want to do a little bit of productivity on it. So with the with the new Fire tablets, we actually introduce a few features. We actually introduce the new productivity bundle, which is we were shipping the tablets with Microsoft Office on it. And you could get a discounted subscription for Office. However, the most important bit is that we added new features to FireOS, and those features are available to developers. And there are a couple of important new features, which are the function to split screen. So you can run multiple applications at the same time. And also there is a feature to do drag and drop. So we have actually a few links that we can share with you in the chat. So Anisha, can you please, as I'm speaking, add the link to the chat? So we'll be sharing links for our blog, where you can find a lot of additional information about all the topics that we have that we're talking about. And one of the things that I think it's important to talk about when it comes to productivity, again, is this split screen feature, which is you have to customize your applications if you're an Android developer in order to support the split screen functionality. We have a lot of different ways in which you can customize this, but most of the time is you will add some specific tags to your Android manifest, declaring that your application is ready for split screen. And then there is an additional functionality to allow for drag and drop from one page to the other. So let me actually add the link in the chat so you guys can have it. Here we go. Just give me 1 second. And everyone should be able to access it right now. There is a link there, and you can see our blog, which is a new, not new. It's a functionality that it's a website where we're publishing all the latest and greatest news. So let me actually share my screen, and I can show you the blog itself.
I can share it for you, Mark. Okay, here we go.
That's fine. Great, here we go. So as you can see, these are actually pretty big devices. We're talking about the HD10 devices, so it's a 10-inch screen, which is a full HD device as well. So the real estate is pretty decent on these devices, which really allows to run multiple applications at the same time and to have them side by side. So there are quite a few things that you can do. You can drag and drop in particular is a very interesting feature, because you as an Android developer have to determine what features you want your individual app to extend. So let's say that I'm building an email application. I want to be able to share the app from I want to share text from one app to the other. So you have to declare that my application is capable of dragging and dropping content in form of text into another application. Vice versa, I might also want to declare how my application behaves when there is a drop feature into my app. So let's say, for example, that you want someone to drop a link to an image, and then your app has to display that image. You can do that using the drag and drop feature. So without going into too much detail with this, because we have a lot to cover today, actually I share the link if you want to know more about drag and drop and split screen and Fire HD10 devices. You can go on our blog and check this out. So first of all, I'm curious to see if you guys are interested into split screen. Is that a feature that you have ever added to your applications? Is this something that you guys are even considering? So if so, please add a comment to the chat, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. Meanwhile, I'll re-add Anisha as she dropped for 1 second. Here we go. Hey, Anisha.
Hey, sorry, my camera kept disconnecting, so I've just switched to my Mac
No
one.
worries.
So
No
there we go.
worries.
Cool. Thanks, Mario.
Great, no worries. So I see there are already actually quite a few questions which are not directly related to what we just saw. Actually, there is a comment from Alexander that says we support split screen in Office Suite, which is great. That's great to hear. I love to see more and more applications leveraging this feature. Is often something that is overseen, but for a productivity feature, I think it's super important. I think Alexander had another question as well, which is talking about the V2 SDK. I assume you're talking about in a purchase V2 SDK as needed DRM wrapping, and then you have quite a few questions about Live App Tester. So there is actually a new version of the SDK which we'll be talking in just a few minutes, so no spoilers because Anisha is going to talk about the App Store SDK, which is the new DRM and in-app purchase SDK, just in a few seconds. There is a question from Let My People Code. Is split screen a customizable ratio, layered windows, keep on top ability, or just straight 50-50? So mostly on FireOS is you just split. Initially is 50-50. Then the customer can decide which ratio they want to use, and depending on how you're declaring your application, it depends on what is the minimum size of the layout that your app is declaring. So in that case, for example, you could have an application that it displays almost like landscape and desktop wise if it is extended for the full length of the screen, but it could also be reduced to something like phone size, let's say very portrait mode. Prime Video, for example, does that. It uses split screen, but if you reduce the size, it also moves things around. So the suggestion is actually to work with with your layout and make sure that your app not only supports split screen, but the layout that you're building is actually resizable in the best way possible, in a way that it doesn't matter how much space is allocated to your app, it still looks and behaves great. Brilliant. So I would say that's enough on the for the Fire tablets. So I would say that we can actually move to the next topic, which is something that I'm very excited about. But to talk more about this one, I will actually pass to the wonderful Anisha here on my side.
Awesome. Well, Mario is definitely excited about more than one thing on this, but this is a very cool feature. So we're actually expanding Fire TV outside the living room. And that doesn't just mean like an extra large TV. We're actually bringing Fire TV to cars. So last August in Las Vegas, we announced the Fire TV Auto, which is now available in two Stellantis vehicles, the Jeep Wagoneer and the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. So what is Fire TV Auto? So what it is a smaller screen within the car. But what's really interesting about the Fire TV Auto is it's changing the way you as developers would have to create. So traditional Fire TV, we build for a 10-foot UI. However, now, obviously, the screen is going to be a lot closer to the users. And what we have decided is to call this the 3-foot experience, as usually the viewer will be about 3 foot away from the screen versus 10. And in order to make sure that the viewing experience is still just the same for the customer, with Fire TV Auto, there are multiple ways that we've optimized for this smaller screen. And the first one would be that we've increase the legibility for text. So, you know, people closer to the screen will be able to read a lot easier. Secondly, content can now be accessed via touch. So, as you may know, like with Fire TV, we can only access with remote and voice at the moment. But with Fire TV Auto, we can now access with more than just that. We can access through touch. And in this case, as developers, you need to make sure that touch isn't just clicking on items. We want to include scroll gestures, you know, ways of interacting with the Fire TV Auto that makes more sense for this 3-foot UI experience. Another cool feature that, you know, comes with Fire TV Auto is the fact that there will be multiple displays in the vehicle. So this means, you know, like if you've got 2 kids sitting at the back, they can watch the same show, or, you know, different shows, whatever they feel like. But with the multiple displays, we allow for content mirroring, which is how they would watch the same show across all the devices within the car. So, you know, really cool features coming from Fire TV Auto. And I'll let Mario add to that. Like, I mean, I know he's really excited. If I had a Jeep, I definitely would be too.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, I think it's very exciting. First of all, because it's the first step of Fire TV outside of the living room. Like, we as developers, in particular, as we're building applications for the big screen, we're thinking all the time about the 10-foot experience. So chilling on a sofa and engaging with a big screen, maybe a 43-inch screen or 65-inch if you have the space. I wish I had. But the idea is that you engage with using your remote and with something that is a device that is statically far away and you will never touch and engage with in a classic like touch interaction style. But the interesting bit is that auto and the experience for the car really changes that, because all of a sudden you're very close with the screen. You can have a different type of interaction because you can not only again use, like you said, you can not only use the remote and use voice, but you can also touch on the screen. So in order to do that, there are actually quite a few things that that you can do. And in order to facilitate you, I'll also add the link to our documentation. It is actually mentioned in our developer portal, but I just posted the link to how to add touch to Fire TV. That's a very interesting topic and something that we had to work with the car team to kind of figure out. The good news is that Android starts as a touch-enabled operating system, right? It's something that at its core is built for touch, is built for phones, and built for it is built for tablets. So most of the components of a standard Android application is they kind of give for granted that there will be a touch interaction. Is the TV interaction that was built on top of this. So FireOS being built on top of Android, it means that it inherited these features of Android. That means that actually by taking a few additional features, adding a few additional features to your app, but not that many, you are still optimizing a touch-enabled app for a touch experience, even though it's now a TV experience. So it's very peculiar. I don't want to give too much away because we will be actually doing quite a few sessions about this, quite a few other fireside chat about Fire TV and Auto very soon. So I'm curious, do you guys develop TV applications? Have you ever thought about or landscape application that could be a good fit for something like the car? I think it's the reason I'm very excited, and yes, Anisha, I get excited about a lot of different stuff. Probably that's why I'm a developer evangelist, because I get excited about all this. But the truth is that again, it's very interesting to add new patterns into applications that were used for a specific use case and try to expand on those. There is an interesting question from Liam. Hey, Liam, by the way, long time no see. Is the screen mirroring always 101 with the host screen? or is there some opportunity for interaction between the two displays? That's a great question, Liam. There is actually an opportunity to have the screen be mirrored, or to have the individual screen act as a single screen. So you can build individual applications or applications that are to be shared. Most of the time, entertainment apps will be shared. Let's say you're watching a movie and is a shared experience. But I think it would be very interesting to determine how you can take experiences that were built for the big screen and migrate those into the car, and see, for example, what does games look on Fire TV for the car? I think it's a great question to be asked, and maybe there are new innovative ways to build TV applications for the car. That's why we would love to hear from you and to see, more applications getting optimized for the in-car entertainment system. I see there is a comment from Alexander. It says, we have File Commander for Android TV release. Great. Most applications that run on Android TV work out of the box on Fire TV. So if you haven't published it, it's a great occasion to get your app ready for the car, and of course to release it on TV for everyone else. So that's actually great. So let me know if you have other questions on car. Like, post it there. We might get back to it later, but we want to move forward, as we have actually quite a lot of new topics coming. So the new topic, the next topic that we want to share is actually staying on the topic of Fire TV, is the new Fire TV devices. So along with tablets, last year, we also introduced a set of new Fire TV devices. As usual, it was toward the second half of the year, where we usually have an announcement around October time. This time it was in September, and we introduced a set of new Fire TV devices. Actually, there was a slew of new devices being released. There was I would say the one that will impact most developers in particular is the new Fire TV Stick 4K Max. So the Fire TV Stick 4K was a very popular device that we've been selling for years, along with the Fire TV Stick. Is one of the best selling devices on Amazon, actually, and it was due for a new version. So we launched the new Fire TV 4K Max, which is an amazing device. Is the most powerful 4K streaming stick yet. Has some new great functionalities, like it comes with a new remote, which has dedicated buttons for things like Prime Video and Netflix, so you can just with a click of a button you can go straight into the content. It also comes with Wi-Fi 6, which is great because allows to deliver much better connectivity, and it helps cuts on the buffer, and it helps getting straight into the playback and the content much better. The other thing that we launch along with the Fire TV Stick 4K, which is a great device, is actually for the first time, Amazon launched smart TVs. So even before 2021, Amazon has been releasing smart TVs with Fire TV, but those were were produced by third-party manufacturers. Let's say we had a device with Toshiba going out, but it was a Toshiba device with Fire TV experience on top and Fire OS. The big news is that these are Amazon devices. So Amazon went into creating first-party big screens, and there are two models of Fire TV that were announced. There was the Fire TV 4 series and the Fire TV Omni series. And the Omni series, I would say, is the top of the line, which adds some additional interesting functionality, like, for example, hands-free Alexa. So you can without using the remote, you can just talk to Alexa and ask, what do you want to watch? And it will use the integrated features like catalog integration, and it will use the voice skills kit that you can connect to your apps. And this automatically allows to go and search into the broader catalog and display the content that the customer wants to see straight away, without even having to say, what app do I have to use? Let's say that, I don't know, you want to watch Stranger Things, which is through Netflix. You just say, play Stranger Things, and it will go straight away into playback. Of course, if you are entitled to and have a subscription with Netflix and the app is available. So some great new devices. We're very excited about, not just having Amazon Fire TV Stick devices or the Fire TV Cube, which were like kind of tabletop and stick devices, but now we have big smart TV devices as well, which is very exciting, and we're looking into expanding this even further. So again, I'm curious. I want to see like your comments as well. Are you guys interested about developing apps for TV? And do you have a Fire TV? Have you ever played with a Fire TV? What is your experience with these devices? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Anisha, I don't know if you want to add.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, you said like, what have people had experience with Fire TV? And if you haven't, it's a good time to mention we have a really cool starter kit called Fire App Builder. So Fire App Builder is, we've created it at Amazon, and what it is it's just a quick place to start getting familiar with how to develop for Fire TV. So you can download it on GitHub, you can download it off our developer consoles, and what it does is it gives you this interface which allows you to see what it would like when you integrate a catalog and how it would look like on Fire TV. It's really customizable, and it's got a lot of features that Mario mentioned, like video skills kit, again, catalog integration. And if you're new to it, it's a great place to start. So I definitely would check it out. Like, I've used it, and we've got a great video on YouTube where it shows you how you can build your own Fire TV app in like 5 minutes. And I can vouch that you can actually do it in 5 minutes. So that's really cool. So definitely check it out.
Absolutely. And I remember when Anisha was coming on board in our team, and I did tell her, we have a template where you can, in just like 3 minutes, you have an app, good to go for Fire TV, and you can then customize it. And she's like, no way. And then it actually took, I think, just a couple minutes just to compile the project. And one thing I want to add is that it's available on GitHub. Again, here's the link. You can go and check it out. And our team, the developer relations team, is in charge of this project. So we are always open to hear ideas. We actually have added quite a few contributors from the community into the Fire App Builder with pull requests. So we are very open. We want to hear more and want to also make this tool better for you guys. Let us know if you're interested. There is a fun question from Zizi Johnny. Do we call these Amazon Fire TV TVs? That's great. So good point. I think no, these are like we refer to as the Fire TV First Series and Fire TV Omni. I think back in 2020, the first devices were called Fire TV Edition. Those were the smart TV devices. I think right now we just refer them as just Fire TV with their product name. Omni and Fire TV chat. Anisha, can you grab let me see if I can actually grab the Fire App Builder link and post it in the chat, because we have quite a few folks asking for it. Let me see if I can grab it.
And if you need to as well, you can just Google it as well. And when you put Amazon App Store at the end of it, you'll get all the documentation as well.
I just posted it. So again, it's there. It's open source. It's we'll try to have it as open as possible. So let us know what you guys think. Play with it. It's a Java-based template. go for it. I think it's a one of the best ways to actually experience developing for TV. One thing that I should mention is that if you're using the Fire App Builder template but don't have a Fire TV device, you can also run it on a Android TV virtual machine, given you're running a version that has Android Marshmallow or above. And then Fire Builder should work out of the box. There are some features that might not be available. Let's say, for example, in-app purchase, the in-app purchase plugin might not behave correctly if you're running on the emulator, but at least you can test the core of the application, and then of course you should jump in and get yourself a Fire TV stick. All right, so I would say that we can actually jump in and talk about the next topic, and that's actually me again. And guess what? This is
He's very excited about it.
very exciting.
This is very exciting.
This is actually pretty big.
This is something even I'm very excited about. I think it's a great go on, Mario.
Yeah, no, definitely. Amazon App Store on Windows 11. This was one of the big announcements from last year. And it was at first introduced, I think it was in the spring, and then we had a follow-up officially when it was released in preview in October. And what is this all about? So Amazon, in collaboration with Microsoft, is making available the Amazon App Store on Windows 11 devices. And that means that you can actually take your Android apps and run them as Windows applications. And what we're working towards is to make these available to more and more developers. And the end game is, of course, for you to be able to release your applications on the Amazon App Store and then make them available on everyone that has Windows 11. So right now, this is in preview. And the announcement came out again. The release was released in October. Anisha, if you can add the link, that would be great. The interesting bit is that it makes Android application, as I said, run as Windows apps. So you can not only run your app, but the app can also be resized and moved around, and you can interact with as you would with any Windows application. This is currently in a limited preview mode only right now, only in the US, and is also only available to Windows 11 insiders. So you need to be on the beta for Windows 11, and you need to have a Windows 11 with register with a US account and to have a US Amazon account as well. And the interesting bit here is that you will have you can again test your applications and run them against Windows. It's a big opportunity because, as you can imagine, there are many Windows devices out there, and we're talking about millions and millions of devices, probably hundreds of millions of devices. So it's a great new opportunity for developers. This is I think a big project that we are getting into. We work in straight collaboration with Microsoft. I don't want to give too much away, but again, we're working on expanding this. And I'm sure that over the next few weeks and months, we'll have a lot to share about optimizing apps for Windows on with the Amazon App Store. So Anisha, I don't know if you want to add anything, but I'm curious to hear from our viewers. What do you guys think of this? Are you interested into the are you interested in bringing your app to desktop? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, I also do come from a front-end developer background, and I think it's really exciting to see how we can take the benefits of building for desktop to things that might have traditionally been developed for just, tablets or Fire TV, because there is a lot of great, UI design features that we get on desktop that might not yet be available with apps. So I think it's quite exciting to see how we're going to be able to take those onto, desktop with Windows 11 announcement.
For sure. I think I think that the big question is, both for apps and game developers, is how do you customize your app? How do you make it flexible? Like we were talking about desktop, and we were talking about split screen before, right? And multitasking. I think when it comes to desktop and running your app on Windows, that's even more important, right? Is being able to run your applications in a very multitask driven environment, and being able to to support all the different potential situations in which your app or game is used. So great. So I see that right now we don't really have questions on Windows. There is a question related to Fire TV, actually, from Let My People Code, which is, does Fire Cube count as Fire TV? Of course, yes. It's actually called Fire TV Cube. So it is of course a Fire TV. It's a great Fire TV device, actually, because similarly to the Fire TV Omni, it comes with Firefield microphone, so you can just talk to Alexa without touching the remote. I have one as well, and I really like my Fire TV Cube. So yeah, it definitely counts, and you can definitely use the Fire TV Cube to test your applications as well. So yeah. So before we move on, is there any question on the on Windows applications? If not, right now, please let us know as well. You can reach out on our social media as well. I will actually remove the screen so you can see again our handles, and please also go and follow Amazon App Dev and follow us on YouTube as well. But you can always reach out to us. You can send us a message on social media. We're very active. So again, we want to hear more from you and see if there is any further question. So I would say, without further ado, let's move on with the next subject, and this is all you, Anisha, which is the new App Store SDK.
Awesome. Thanks, Mario. So, App Store SDK is something I'm actually quite excited about because it makes in app purchasing even easier. So, if you've heard of Amazon's in app purchasing, what it does is it enables developers and offers developers digital content and subscriptions for purchase. So, it gives you a way to give your customers digital content and subscriptions for purchase, such as virtual currency, extra lives, upgrades on Fire TV, or tablet devices. So it's really cool. But what we've got with the new App Store SDK, which is what we will take over the old in-app purchasing SDK, is you can use it even easier. So with the old in-app purchasing SDK, you had to download the jar file and integrate it into your application. With the new App Store SDK, you can use Maven for this, so you're always got the latest version, or you can do the traditional method and download the SDK and integrate it. What's really cool is we've put together a whole tutorial on how you can upgrade to the SDK on our YouTube channel, and it's also listed step by step in our documentation. Post this integration with the App Store SDK, you can use the app tester to test the functionality before you publish it. So obviously great to do some testing before you publish to the App Store. And the App Store tester makes this even easier for you to do. After testing locally, you can also use our live app tester to beta test your app in a production environment to a select group of users, just to get that extra layer of testing. So, great new features with the App Store SDK. But what's actually changed from the previous SDK? So if you're just, subscribing to the new App Store SDK out of the box, you don't really have to do anything. So your in-app purchasing functionality will remain exactly the same. However, for DRM, we've introduced the new DRM API. So with the new DRM API, which is included in the SDK, you can enforce license verification within your app. So any app that incorporates the Amazon DRM will also require users to have installed the Amazon App Store and give access to the client from your app. But again, if you don't make any changes, then you just upgrade to the App Store SDK, nothing to worry about. You just get all the new, the new App Store SDK, and your functionality should remain the same. So yeah, I think I'll let Mario post the links in the chat.
I
And
did
I
already.
don't. Awesome. If you have anything to add, do let me know.
Yeah. Thank you, Anisha. Yeah, it's a great new functionality. I think that the change to the DRM was long overdue. That's something that
Mhm.
the community was asking quite a lot, was to be able to be in control on the of the DRM system. And there are and also the fact that it comes also with being the in-app purchase SDK is great, because you have one SDK, only one that you have to integrate. Like you said, you can just do it through Maven, and you don't have to play with jars anymore. I mean, if you want, you can. We have
Exactly.
documentation on using jars, but using Maven is so much easier. Let's see. There is a question from Alexander that says the new SDK does not work in debug mode before the APK is uploaded to the app tester. How to make it work in debug? It was a lot easier to develop apps with the old one. Yeah, I think it's a fair point, in the sense that first of all, maybe we can follow up separately,
Yeah.
Alexander, on what problems are you having in debug, because that shouldn't happen. Yes, I would say that the main difference is now you have to implement the DRM your own, while before the DRM was just applied for you by Amazon. But the feedback was that sometimes this was actually breaking some API integrations or some other SDK integration. So developers wanted to have more control on the SDK itself, and being able to control how the DRM was managed as well. So again, my recommendation is just to go and play with it. We have a lot of documentation, and Anisha made some exceptional tutorials as well on YouTube, that you can go and check out, both on how to set up the SDK in general, but also how to use DRM. So Alexander, hopefully those tutorials might help you solve that problem. If not, DM us, and we'll try to understand what went wrong in debug mode. But so thank you for the feedback. First of all, it's great to see some comments. Great to see that you play with it. Let's try to get you sorted. Wonderful. So again, I suggest and incentivize everyone to use the App Store SDK. One, as Anisha said, it's the new version that replaces the old SDK. So even though we haven't announced, I think, a deprecation path yet, Anisha, right? I don't think we have announced it. But it's better to get ahead and transition transition to the new SDK, because eventually the EAP v2 SDK is going to be deprecated. The one thing to be said, Anisha, I don't remember if you just said it, so eventually I'll
Yeah.
repeat it, which is the fact that the in-app purchase API is actually the same. So it
Yeah.
doesn't
Exactly the same.
change. Again, is the fact that if you replace one SDK with the new one, it replace the EAP v2 with the App Store SDK, it will work out of the box with your previous implementation of in-app purchase. Wonderful. Great. We're actually powering through these.
Yeah.
I think we have a couple more to go. And Anisha, I think that the next one is also yours. And this one is one of the most recent announcements, which is actually very cool. And it's all about smaller developers. It's called the Small Business Accelerator Program. So why don't you tell us more?
Yeah, so I think it's great, that we're doing this. So we call it SPAP. So it stands for a Small Business Accelerator Program. And what it is a scheme for developers with revenue that's less than $1 million. In the previous calendar year specifically. So if you are qualifying as one of these developers with a revenue of less than $1 million, you will now receive an increased 80/20 revenue share with no action required for you. So out of the box, you just get a better revenue share, which I think is, great. But not only that, the program is dedicated to expand in 2022 with the next phase showing some promotions from AWS, and AWS is giving promotional credits equivalent to 10% of revenue. So again, just great incentives that you don't really have to anything. You don't have to take any extra actions for. If you're eligible, you will receive guidance on this via email on how to claim the credits and just unlock the benefits of using AWS for your apps. If this wasn't enough, there's a whole new other benefit, which is so dedicated applications will now show up on the sorry your applications will now show up on a dedicated row on Fire TV tablets. So if you again are eligible for the SPAP program, your app will show up on a new row on when you log into Fire TV, where we can drive more customers to your app. So if you own a Fire TV, or if you've used Fire TV, which I'm sure you have if you're a Fire TV developer, you will know that we have a section called featured content, or recommended programs and stuff. And now we will have a new dedicated row for those apps and games eligible for the SPAP program. So even more reach for our viewers and customers. So I think it's a great program that really incentivizes small businesses to gain better customer to gain more reaching customers and get a better revenue deal with Amazon.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the, if I get two questions very often from developers, the most rated questions are, one, how do I get featured? So that's a great answer, is like, if you qualify, there is a good chance that your app might get featured on Fire TV or tablets, if you're part of the Small Business Accelerator program. And the other one is, how do I get more revenue? So again, here is a more favorable rev share agreement. Plus, when it will be made available, there will be also the AWS credits that potentially, if you look at the entire revenue, that it basically goes from 80-20, which is already better than the basic 70-30, almost to 90-10, right? So if you use AWS, and you should, if you have a cloud architecture, then it's even more reason to publish your apps and maintain your apps on the Amazon App Store, because you can leverage the Small Business Accelerator program. So this one is great, and keep your eyes peeled for more news about this, as over the next few weeks we will share more. So not only I strongly invite you to go on our developer blog, which is developeramazon.com/blog. You go straight into our Amazon App Store developer blog. There is a lot of new articles. All the new launches come through here. You can subscribe as well to our newsletter, so you're always updated on the latest and greatest information, and you might even find out even before the FireSide chat. We will try to give you the freshest information, but a newsletter, it's even faster. And again, in general, if you want to learn more about Amazon, you can go on developer.amazon.com, and that's like the master website. You will find all things Amazon App Store, so all of our documentation, the developer blog, all the landing pages about the Amazon devices where you can learn more, and also you can also find links to go into the Alexa developer portal and into AWS as well. So it's a great starting point to learn about all things Amazon. So the last thing that I wanted to share about what has happened last year is actually something that we've been working on in the, I would say, like literally hands-on, which has been our Fire TV Developer Days 2021, which was a great digital event that we ran in December of last year. And it was Anisha and myself sharing a lot of what you're seeing today, a lot of like the latest and greatest about Fire TV. And we talk about the new devices. We go more in detail about the developer tools. And there is an introductory presentation that I do to walk through all things Fire TV. And then there is a technical dive deep that Anisha goes through. So I will share the link to the YouTube playlist, because the event has been recorded. You can easily see the recording on YouTube. So from there, you can see both our presentations. You can leave comments, and as usual, if you have any questions, go on the links up there, and you will find everything that you need, and you can contact us at any time. So with that one, we're actually reaching close to the conclusion of today's live stream. First of all, I want to share what's going on next week. What will we be talking about? Next week, we'll zero in on designing apps for TV. So we talked a lot about it today, but we will have more to share next week about designing in particular applications. Then we will talk about and give a few pointers about the actual development of apps. We will have a follow-up session as well on the more kind of hands-on technical tools, but in particular, I would say that we will zero in on designing a app for the living room, and what does that look like, and what are the peculiarities of building and designing an application for the big screen versus, let's say, building an app for tablets. What are the things that you need to know? Some do's and don'ts as well. So again, it should be a pretty great session as well. We hope that you like today. So before we break, I would like to again ask you guys, what would you like to hear about? Let us know in the chat. We are always open to hear more. We want to know, like, what are the topics about Amazon and Amazon devices that you want to zero in? We will be live every week, so we are also want to hear your ideas. We have, I think, a fair good amount of content coming down the pipes, as you've seen today. For the next few months, but we want to hear more. Want to hear from you guys. What would you like to see? What would you like to hear? Are there some topics that are more of interest? Are there some things that are working, or some other things that are not working for you? We wanna hear more. So before we break, I want to maybe leave there for a few minutes and see if anyone has any question for us related to Fire TV or Amazon devices or anything that we can also bring back to our product team. So Anisha is literally on a daily basis with our product team, with our engineering teams, and we are very keen on getting feedback back to them, and they want to hear from you guys. They want to hear from the community. So please let us know if you have any comments, any questions, something that is not working for you, something that you would like to see coming from Amazon. Please do let us know. This is a great forum to post your questions. Of course, I know that Amazon is very broad and has a lot of different things. If you ask things about Amazon Prime, me and Anisha don't know anything about those things. Or if you're asking about drones or Amazon Fresh, like, we don't really know. But if you're asking about Amazon devices, apps, and games development, we are your guys.
Yeah.
Alexander, I see you have a question about getting in contact about the new version of the SDK. We'll follow up.
Yeah.
If you can send a DM to either myself or Anisha on Twitter, we can then try to solve that for you. So thank you for that. Any other question, guys, before we break? I think we'll break in about like 2-3 minutes, so there is definitely plenty of time for any of your question or curiosities or anything at all that you would like to learn or hear from us.
And if it's not coming to the top of your head now, like, feel free again to DM us after the session, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. As evangelists, we're here for you, the developers. So let us know any questions whatsoever.
Exactly. Let me show again our handles, so you can reach out on Twitter as well. And again, also keep in mind that these sessions will be available and recorded, so you will see them again on Twitch for a few days, and then of course it will be retained on YouTube as content stays kind of forever on YouTube. So you will definitely be able to rewatch this at any time. But again, so let us know if there is anything more that you would like to hear. I want to thank you for being with us today. This has been our first live stream again. We'll be here again next week, 6 p.m., same channel. Me and Anisha trying to get in the best of Amazon, back to you. So thanks again, and great rest of your day or evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.